Welcome to the 2013 Kite Course Racing World Championships, an event presented by King Bay and organised by the KTA here at the island of Hainan. Marking the first time China has played host to this spectacular event. Located in the tropical area at the southern end of China, Hainan Island is warm all year round, boasting beautiful soft sand beaches and tropical scenery. The championship format was 5 days of racing, with the 113 men riders divided into 3 flights for 2 days of qualification, before being split into gold, silver and bronze fleets for another 2 days of racing in the final stage, with just the top 10 riders advancing to face each other in the last day of medal races to crown the world champion. With a smaller entry contingent, the 26 women riders competed as one fleet throughout the qualifying and final stages, with just the top 10 advancing to medal race day. China is more usually known for its light sailing conditions, but here on Hainan Island it was quite the opposite all week. The riders from more than 40 countries enjoyed almost perfect conditions of 15 to 20 knots over the first few days of racing, which powered up their kites and served up some great head-to-heads on the racecourse. European, world and national champions were gathered from every corner of the world to represent their nation and deliver their best possible result. USA's brother and sister pair and 2012 reigning world champions Johnny and Erika Heineken were back to defend their titles and were undoubtedly the pre-championship favourites. It was a great year for the siblings so far for them, and they had arrived in China fresh from their appearance at the ISAF Rolex World Sailor of the Year Awards, where they were both on the shortlist for the ultimate male and female crowns. As the last and most important championship of the season for them, it was crucial to perform well and stay at the top of their game. But this year would not be so straightforward for Johnny, with lots of young talent edging up the leaderboard in the whole host of outstanding riders in Boao, along with a massive contingent of new Asian riders who would put pressure on the well-known names. In the women's fleet, as predicted, it looked to be a battle between the 2012 world champion Erika Heineken and the 2013 European champion Steph Bridge from Great Britain. Bridge had raced an intensive schedule throughout 2013, competing in every event possible and demonstrated that she is still in shape to win. But even though Erika had missed out on some events, her training was relentless and preparation to physically peak in China was obvious from the very first day.
An awesome course and just kind of feeling out the competition at this point.
On to day 2 of racing in King Bay, and the wind staying consistently high as the riders got ready for another day of exhilarating conditions, with the breeze up to 21 knots. Some riders who made slow starts on the opening day improved their scorecard, as familiarity with the wind conditions prompted most competitors, including many of the women, to put up their 10-meter kites. A crucial final day of qualification for the men, with only the top 38 advancing to the gold fleet.
So now we have a qualifying series. You need to be qualified for the gold fleet and then for the medal race to the top 10. And yeah, so it's a long way to go to the top guys.
In the women's fleet, Heineken had a perfect day again, excluding the one race where she jumped the start gun. But with the discard race kicking in, she had no problem and remained at the top of the leaderboard for the second day, with Bridge forced to look at her back, finishing consistently in second place behind the imperious Heineken. Strong wind and flat water equals super fast racing, the perfect conditions for Heineken.
Top 10 is really strong. Everyone's really battling it out. They're getting better every year.
In the men's fleet, it was a neck-and-neck battle between Gruber and Heineken. Drawn into separate fleets for racing, both knocked out perfect scores, winning all their races to find themselves tied on equal points as they advanced through to the finals. Apart from these two, it was still game on for the rest of the riders, who were striving to not only qualify to the gold fleet in the finals, but secure a strong scoreline which they would carry forward. Some impressive performances from Mora of the Cayman Islands, who continued the strong streak he displayed on day 1, scoring 3 bullets on day 2 to take him to 3rd in the standings.
very important to get a good position so we can carry the 2 points of our position for the Golden Series.
It's more tense. You got the fastest guys all in one fleet, duking it out. Everybody's a bit more aggressive. So
it's pretty close. There's a lot of fast guys, so it's fun though.
As the week moved along, it was tougher and tougher for the riders, with 4 races each day and the winds gusting up to 18 knots. Fortunately, the 120 riders had the chance to relax and enjoy the luxurious facilities of King Bay while they were waiting between races. And what is the best way to chill but a midweek party to relax from the heat of racing and have a good time with your teammates? The energy and passion already committed during the day's racing did not stop these guys from kiting in the middle of the night while the party was heating up at the bar.
The midweek party last night down the beach. Really cool restaurant. It was a bunch of ships, and it's a great experience. And now we're back here today racing. Good conditions. It's blowing about 20 knots, and it's a lot of fun.
Race day 3 and the pressure was on in the men's fleet to see which of the two, Gruber or Heineken, who were now racing against each other for the first time, would take their foot off the accelerator and miss a race win. It was Heineken who made the first mistake after a tangle in the first race forced his retirement and gave the opportunity to Gruber to edge ahead on the leaderboard. Not for long though, as Heineken recovered to win all of the next 3 races, making it very clear this would be no easy battle for Gruber to take the world title out of his hands. Gruber continued to snap at his heels in each of the following 3 races, snatching 2 seconds and a 3rd place.
The special one in Goldfield, now everybody have very good speed, almost the same speed, but then yeah, it's very fast now. Like even John Heineken now is first race crashing, but second one he did very good, come finish first.
In the women's fleet, racing was equally intense. With the majority of the fleet opting for the left side of the course, it was a drag race from the starting line to reach the left lay line first and then tack to the mark. Speed, though, was not the only skill needed, as the riders who could race higher and position themselves to windward would have the advantage over the rest, as the wind was lighter on the left.
It's really all together, so if you do one mistake or you tack too early or anything, like a lot of girls pass you, so it's really challenging.
End of day 3 and Heineken now had control of the men's leaderboard, with Gruber in 2nd and the USA's Brian Lake in 3rd. In the women's fleet, Heineken 1st, Bridge 2nd and Kalinina in 3rd. Race day 4, the penultimate day of racing, was a crucial one for both men and women. At the end of the day, only the top 10 would advance through to the race on the last day of the World Championship and contest the medal race series to determine the podium finishers. So careful preparation and strategic racing were required from riders who had a shot at claiming a top 10 spot and from those needing to consolidate and defend their top 10 position.
Yeah, it's the last day of the Gold Fleet, so it's important to get good results for tomorrow.
Big changes not only in the conditions, but in how the riders coped with breeze that started at 14 knots before dropping to around 7 knots. This change clearly gave the chance to the German rider Florian Gruber to up his game, and he did not miss the opening, putting up his largest kite and starting his day strong by winning 2 races, leaving no room for errors by Heineken, who failed to win a single race.
I started really good in the day. I had 2 bullets in the first 2 races. Then in the second race I had a line touch with Maxime, so I was not sure if he shouted a protest or not, and then I did my 360 and lost my first place and got the second one. Still happy. Now I think one more race. I try my best to go to the top 3, and yeah, then we will see.
Despite keeping close behind Gruber in the first 2 races, Heineken put in a disappointing performance in the next 2, which left him out of contention to defend his world title as he now carried 2 bigger points difference behind Gruber. Gruber had taken the opportunity to match race Heineken in the final race of the day, depriving both of high-placed finishes but driving the American further off the pace. If anything, the order at the top of the women's fleet was even tighter. Bridge finally halted Heineken's winning streak in the second race of the day, but the American only faltered momentarily before reasserting her dominance. Russia's Kalinina pushed both Heineken and Bridge hard on her foil kite, but surrendered leads and was overhauled by both women in 2 of the 3 women's races of the day. After a great week of racing, it all came down to the final day where the medals would be decided. The 120 riders competing in the 2013 World Kite Course Racing Championship had enjoyed a fantastic week of racing and brilliant shoreside hospitality, but now all eyes were turned to the top 10 men and women who would contend the medal race series and hope for a place on the podium. But a continuation of the light wind kept riders ashore as the race committee waited for the light and fickle breeze to fill in. With the breeze coming in as the final cut-off for racing fast approached, the race committee decided to get the men on the water for the first of their scheduled races. It was an all-or-nothing race as the wind did not look promising and, as it turned out, was the only race of the day. In the difficult conditions, France's Notcher won over Gruber with Johnny Heineken in 3rd. Notcher's victory advanced him 1 place in the overall standings to give the Frenchman a podium finish. Gruber was ecstatic to win his first world title.
Yeah, it feels so nice. Yeah, I think I need 2 days to believe it, because it was always a dream to be a world champion. And yeah, that's the first time.
The breeze did not cooperate and died before the women had their chance to get on the track. Heineken won the World Championship title for a 2nd consecutive time, having won 13 of her 14 races to prove she still dominates women's kiting. A fantastic closing ceremony hosted at King Bay Hotel recognised the massive achievements by all riders, with of course the bigger celebrations for the medalists and 2013 Kite Course Racing World Champions Florian Gruber of Germany and Erika Heineken of USA. Glory, medals and prize money were presented to them. Silver in the men for Heineken and bronze for Notcher. In the women, silver to Bridge and bronze to Kalinina. A fantastic week of close and intense racing, the discovery by many non-Asian kiters of King Bay Beach on Hainan Island as a perfect kiting and racing venue, combined with memorable hospitality. It just doesn't get any better. Thanks for watching.